Okay, we have our graphics here imported, the sprite sheet, this thing. It's being imported there. And so now we're going to declare a new variable for Mega Man, and he's going to be a sprite 2D, which is like a regular display object in ND2D. Import that stuff. So we're going to instantiate it. And you'll see that it takes a texture object. So every sprite in ND2D takes a texture object as a parameter, which is not just a bitmap data. You can't just give it a bitmap data. There's a special object called a texture 2D that it needs to take, and it's really easy to create a texture 2D from a bitmap data. It's a static method on texture 2D, and you just say texture 2D dot texture from bitmap data, and then we'll just say new image dot bitmap data. And then we can just give our texture 2D to the sprite, add it onto the stage, and actually I'm going to kind of center him too because he'll be in the upper left hand corner. Oh, that's one thing in ND2D that's a little different from the native Flash display list, is that all of the registration points for any sprite you add onto the stage will be automatically in the center, not in the upper left hand corner. So, which is kind of cool for some things, but okay, so now creating this, and we see our sprite sheet right there. So now I'm going to go ahead and try and make him move. So we need to, every sprite has a property on it called sprite sheet, and you will need to instantiate a new sprite sheet and tell it like how big the sprite sheet is and how big each frame is, stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and import that and then provide all this stuff, which I don't have this information offhand, and I should know it. Let's see here. Here we go. 86 by 24, and each sprite is 24, 24. And then you can provide an individual frames per second for each animation, which is nice. So I don't want this to like be playing 60 frames per second. It'd be way too fast. And okay, so now that we have our sprite sheet, I can call a method called add animation. This will be called run, and then I provide the keyframes in an array. 1, 2. Let's go 1, 2. So basically, what this is doing, obviously, is you know, with 0 being this frame, we're saying play 0, 1, 2, 1, 0, 1. You know, it's just going to loop that. And this way, you know, let's say if I did have like a sprite sheet where there were tons of animations, you know, it just kept going, and there was like jumping and shooting and all this stuff, that I could just use one sprite sheet and declare different animations. So after we declare what it is, we just say sprite sheet dot play animation run. Okay, so that should work, and then if I launch up the swf, we see, wow, that's not good. That looks bad. That's not what I wanted to do. I think I probably got some sizes wrong or something. Let me see here. What is happening? Okay. Let me get to the bottom of this. Okay, yeah, I just got some sizes wrong here. It's 96 by 32 and then 32 by 32. Each frame is 32, not 24 or whatever I had it as. There we go. So he's running. Cool. So another thing I just wanted to jump into real quick was ND2D has kind of bad support for scaling right now, and it's probably fine if you're not doing anything that's not too pixely, but if you are going for a more pixelated look, I'll show you what happens if I set the scale X and scale Y up we get a blurry Mega Man, which is not good because we want it pixelated. So one workaround for that is you can just resize the bitmap data before you put it in ND2D. I don't know if I want to go into that here, but it's not hard. I'll include a class that will help you do it if you are interested. One more thing I wanted to talk about is there's a method in each scene 2D called step. And step has a parameter called elapsed that you can take, and that is your delta time. So anytime you have movement, you always want to times it by elapsed. So this is basically like your interframe. So if I increase his position by elapsed times 60, then we should see Mega Man moving across the screen. So that's pretty much it, I guess. That's all that I wanted to touch on. In the description of this video, you should find a link to this project, a link to ND2D, a link to the Flex SDK with Player Global included if you don't want to do it yourself. And also I'll provide a tutorial if you do want to do it for yourself. And also I'll include a class for scaling bitmap data, which shouldn't be too difficult, but if you want to just take a look at it. And I'll also include the compiler arguments and stuff. Okay, so I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.